Are modern day songs just getting worse and worse? Is there any hope for the music industry? Stick around and let's discuss. Hello and welcome to Tim Conley Drums. Well, I wanted to get on here today and talk about the music industry and the state of music today, and some of the top 10 hits and top 20 hits, whatever. I'm not going to play any of the music because obvious copyright reasons, but I want to tell you how I came to this video. I was watching a video on YouTube where it was giving you the monthly hit from 2010 until last month. So I had all the top songs for that month, okay? So first of all, there's a few things that I noticed about the top hits of each month that I want to discuss. First of all, the first thing I notice is they're almost all from 2010 right through, almost all individual artists or collaborative artists. There's hardly any bands. There's only a few bands. Coldplay, Maroon 5, Imagine Dragons, and a couple of other assorted bands that like one-hit wonders like Go-To or Gautier or something like that, if you remember that song. So you've got very, very few bands. And then from about 2020 till now, I think there was only one band, and that was Coldplay. Every other song that was a top hit each month was an individual artist or a collaboration of artists. It's mainly pop music and rap music and a mixture of R&B mixed in there too, but it's mainly just those three genres. There's not a rock tune to be had, which I find really disappointing as a lover of rock music. If you were to go back years and years ago to what was the top hits, you would have a much wider mixture of music, and you would have a lot of bands and a lot of rock songs in there. But now, or the last, 15 years, there's basically, it's all gone away. The music industry has changed so much. Now, 2010, it starts off with not unexpected pop tunes, and it's dominated by Bruno Mars, Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, Kesha, all those artists in the early. Then it goes into Ed Sheeran and Justin Bieber and the guy from I can't remember the name of him. The guy from NSYNC. I can't remember his name. I'll put it down here. Anyways, then it evolves into many artists that I never even heard of. Never heard of them. And a lot of the songs that were big, big hits, I never heard them. Now, that means nothing because I'll be honest with you, I really don't keep tabs on the popular hits because I really don't care. Plus, in my opinion, music is evolving to a worse and worse place. In the early portion of the list from 2010, there's some pop tunes there. A lot of them I've played, those early ones, playing in top 40 bands and stuff. And there's some good, Ed Sheeran's got some good songs. Bruno Mars has some good songs. Even Katy Perry's got a couple of songs that, that are decent songs. But as we progress through that list, month to month, and it keeps moving along, 2015, 2016, it keeps moving along, it starts to get worse and worse and worse. And from about 2020 up until last month, just terrible. It increasingly got worse to the point where they're absolutely soulless, repetitive, simple, just no lyrical content. There's nothing to the rhythmic patterns. The bass lines are weak. If you would look at the bass lines, just the bass line, it's almost like the bass has disappeared. It's all that wall of bass where they're just pushing air. And the bass drum, well, the bass drum is that typical, right? Now, in about 2010 to 16, you've got the reggaeton. That was the popular beat. And then it changes from the dance beat to the reggaeton, and then there's a few other beats in there. Another thing I want to emphasize about the bass playing and the drumming is none of it is actual drums or an actual bass, or maybe the odd tune has an actual bass player. Most of it is just either synthesized, coming from a keyboard, or it is just coming from machines, especially the drums. There's almost all drum machines, and a lot of them are just loops. It's just so weak rhythmically, a lot of the beats are really lame. I'm really disappointed with the way that popular music is evolving. There was a time when popular music was popular because it was actually good music. If you look at the 70s and 80s, a lot of the top hits of the 70s and 80s, they were great songs, even into the 90s. A lot of really great songs and great bands too. But now it's evolved into this mindless drivel. The lyrical content of these songs are just garbage. You take a look at a song like Across the Universe, the Beatles. The lyrical content in that song is mind-blowing. It makes you think about things. It makes you ponder the universe. It uplifts you. Everything about those songs with amazing lyrical content, it's gone now. Nothing makes you think. There's no songs out there that make you think about your life, your existence. Why are we here? What's across the universe? What's across the pond? Like, everything is just mindless and brainless. And the lyrical content is weak. The songwriting, in terms of song structure, it's almost all the same. Bridges and solos have pretty much disappeared. If they do have a bridge, it's almost not identifiable as a bridge. It's either an extension of the chorus or it's some other weird verse. But the music has gotten so simplified, it's almost like it's for the brain dead. In terms of popular music, obviously, Dream Theater and Porcupine Tree and other heavy metal bands and some rock bands, even though rock is pretty much dead now, sadly. But these bands, they're still putting out some great music. But in terms of what the masses take in and what the masses are listening to, it's absolute drivel. Now, is it going to get better? No. I was at Metalworks Studio, a very famous studio in Toronto recently, talking to a guy that is extremely knowledgeable about music. Probably the most knowledgeable guy that I know about music, Allan Cross. And if anyone ever listened to his show on CFNY years ago, the guy is he's a genius. Talking to Allan about this, well, Allan wasn't the only one there. There was other people there too. But Allan was the guy everyone's listening to. And basically, he was saying that AI is going to take over. Now, Rick Beato put a video out recently that I watched where he listened to AI country, AI pop, and AI metal. Now, the AI metal was garbage, just horrible. It was just terrible. But the country and the pop sounded... It's AI. Keep this in mind. AI generated everything, all the instruments, the vocals, everything. AI generated. And it sounded like a real country tune. Sounded like a real pop tune. So it's telling me, and Allan made a comment about this, and I agreed with him 100%, music is dropping down to a point where there's no creativity going to be in it anymore. Nobody's writing lyrics. Nobody's playing instruments. There's no more live drums. There's no more live bass, not even live keyboards. It's going to drop down to the point where people are just pushing buttons and generating music using AI. Hey, AI, make me a country tune. I want it to be about a guy and his horse and how he likes to drink beer in a bar. And at the end of the song, make it so that he leaves his wife and there's a breakup involved. Like so you give them the typical country song, lyrical content. You just give them the ideas. The AI generates the song, generates what kind of a feel you want for it. You want it to be sad, happy, whatever. Maybe you can pick the key, but if you don't know anything about music, because people generating this stuff really know nothing about music, maybe you can pick the key, or hey, let AI pick the key. Why not? You're letting AI do everything else, might as well let them pick the key too. So, when Rick Beato listened to these songs, I was shocked at how much it sounded like a real country tune, something you're hearing on the radio now. Now, country artists, I will say, they are still using live instruments, a lot of them, not the AI generated stuff, but real artists like Luke Combs, still using real drums, still using real bass, real guitar, real lyrics. He's writing the songs. So there are country artists still keeping it alive. I never thought it would come to the point where it's country music that's keeping it real and heavy metal music that's keeping it real. Now, obviously, country is a lot more popular than heavy metal, but these guys are still keeping it alive. As for the other genres, they're all failing miserably. They're all turning to either not using real instruments, or they're not even using real voice because, of course, altering of the voice and everything. People aren't even really singing anymore. It's all computer generated assistance with the vocals, and in some cases, some people are not even singing at all. It's an AI generated voice of somebody else. So it's just dropping down and drop down to really low levels. And do I think that we're going to come out of this? No, I think it's going to get worse. Popular music is going to be taken over by AI, and all human creativity is going to be taken out of it in the popular music. Now, there's always punk. There's always music that, outside of the box music. There's in some ways country, of course, metal, but in R&B and in rap and in top 40 pop music and in any genre where lots and lots of people get to listen to it, the stuff that they put out on the radio, all that stuff is headed towards AI 100%. Now, also, when I was listening to this giant monthly list of songs, I noticed that not only did it start to get worse and worse and worse and worse, and the songs started to drop down to the lowest levels ever, and the same beats on the drums, same bass lines. Now, why is this? Why is the music so repetitive, especially in certain eras from 2010 until now, where you get sections where every song sounds exactly the same? Every number one hit is a rap song, or every number one hit is some cheesy, stupid Taylor Swift pop tune or something like that with the same, my boyfriend jilted me and I'm angry stuff. Why is it that we go through these little phases? Well, quite honestly, a lot of the music is being generated from the same people. So you could have 15 artists put out 15 different songs, but they collaborated with a guy who collaborated with another artist and another artist and another artist. So in other words, you've got 15 different artists, but they collaborated with one guy or two guys. As a result, all 15 of those songs are going to sound the same because of one artist collaborating with many artists. And that's very common, especially producers. Producers now have come from behind the soundboard and they've come out into the scene where the producer is not only considered the producer, but he's also considered the joint artist. So Taylor Swift, for example, let's just say she collaborates with so and such a producer, and then it's Taylor Swift and so, right? Now, Bruno Mars has been doing this a lot, and all kinds of rap artists doing this, collaborating with producers turned artists. Now, this isn't a new thing. Puff Daddy did it, you know, and Beyonce's husband there, what's his name? Again, I've forgotten his name, but I'll put it down here. You know, it's not new, but I just noticed that from 2020 to 2025, it's become way more popular for collaborations to be taking place. And again, there's no bands. Is there any hope for any bands? It doesn't seem that there is. Now, I know what you guys are going to say. Oh, you've got to branch outside of popular music. I already know that. I don't listen to popular music. I'm just giving you the rundown of what I think is happening and what is actually happening in the scene. And the scene, the popular music is just, it's just tanking in terms of memorable songs. Like the most common thing is most songs nowadays, and for the last 15 years even, they just have a 3-month shelf life and then they're gone and everybody forgets about them and wait for the new thing. Now, why is that? It's got to do with the modern era and the modern industry, which is the internet. So everybody's just swiping. Nothing stays around. Nothing stays around for long. So you got 3-month shelf life for a song and then it's swiped away and it's gone. And this is the unfortunate thing. People are just swiped through songs so quickly. Nobody's even listening to them. And honestly, what's the point of even listening to this music if it all sounds the same? So I empower you guys to go out and listen to the top songs right now and, you know, last year, the year before, the last few years, and tell me if what you think. Is music going to improve? Are bands going to get a comeback? Is rock dead? You know, all these things need to be answered. In my opinion, it's getting worse. Music is getting worse. AI is taking over. Rock is dead. And I don't see music bouncing back because technology and the swiping where people just want really fast music. In and out. You know, they listen to a song and then it's gone. What's the next song? You know, that sort of thing. There's no integrity in the music business anymore. It's always been about making money. I'm not going to deny that. Even back in the 1940s and 50s, it was about making money. But at least, even though they're making money, they were also trying to put out some good songs. I mean, the 1960s has some of the greatest songs ever written. So guys, what is the only thing we can do? Well, I don't see a hope for modern music. Sorry to be a bummer. We got to go back and listen to the old stuff. It's just the way it is. We can't let that music die. Keep the music from the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Keep it alive, even into the 2000s. Try and keep that music alive. From what I saw, watching 2010 until last month, the music just got progressively worse and worse and worse. And like I said, now, I just don't know what's going to happen with the music scene. And also check out that Rick Beato video that I mentioned where he listens to AI generated country, pop, and metal, I think it was. Yeah, so anyways, guys, downer video, but hey, it's got to be told. I want to know your opinions. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Comment being the most important thing because I want to hear what you guys think. Am I full of it or am I speaking the truth? Everybody's got an opinion. This is mine. Thanks very much for watching. And as always, keep drumming. See ya.